Hey, today is Star Wars Day, the 4th. So may the Force be with you. And there's so many things that have been out to want to grab to celebrate and just have fun with Star Wars, of course. And being a long-time Star Wars fan, oh man, there's just so much. There's a bunch of Lego sets, of course. Uh, there are a bunch of stuff I still want to get, but I have to budget and figure out exactly what I want. I don't have a hell of a lot of space, and building a lot of Lego sets requires space. And I do have several that I need to build. That's been holding on for quite a while, like the Razor Crest, not the UCS, the big fat collector's, real expensive one, but the basic one. But still, that's a pretty big set. The other Mandalorian show ship that he got afterwards, the N1 Starfighter that's been modified for Din Djarin. What else do I have? Imperial TIE Fighter, rather TIE Bomber, and I always like the TIE Bomber. I think that's pretty cool. I want to get the new TIE Interceptors set with the Fang Fighter. Not so much for the Fang Fighter though. That is kind of cool too. But I'd always been the Interceptor's always been my favorite. And I just got a bunch of other stuff for Legos and Star Wars. I actually have quite a bit too. I picked up. I'll just show you quickly, but I'm not going to unbox it here. These new ones for the Micro Galaxy Squadrons are really cool. This is Bo-Katan's Gauntlet Starfighter. Very cool. She was awesome in the season 3, even from season 2 when she was introduced in live action, but been pretty much a favorite. One of many characters that were pretty cool from the animated series, of course, Rebels and even the Clone Wars all the way back then. And it's great to see it in live action. And this is a pretty cool ship. And the Bad Batch was actually a surprisingly good series. I have to admit, when they first announced this and some other upcoming shows and projects for Disney and Star Wars, I think a lot of people were kind of thinking about the Bad Batch. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing those guys at the kind of at the tail end of was it Clone Wars? I think so. And yeah, they were cool, but you didn't think they would be able to do a story with or a whole series with them. But actually, it's been this really great series too. Season 1 and 2. Maybe one's a little bit better, but actually 2 is pretty good too. They got two different feelings to them, the way they've been developing. And I missed a chance to get the Marauder as a Lego set. You could probably still get it, but it's like at least double the price. I don't know if I spend that much. And they just came out with this pretty recently too, the Havoc Marauder. So that's cool. These are pretty nicely scaled. They're just big enough, but and with enough detail, and they come with some minifigs sometimes, not usually. And I think these are pretty great if you like the space ships, from in Mecha from Star Wars. This is a great way to get them, and getting the really large stuff for the 3.25 or 3.5 inch, whatever, the action figure size, and then you get the toys, the ships and vehicles for those, which could be really big, which I've tried collecting in the past, but I don't have that kind of space anymore. And this kind of the budget is actually easier too. These don't cost quite. If you get this as a full size ship, for the 3.5 inch figures, yeah, that could be but more expensive too. Besides not having the space, and also I think proportionately, detail wise, these can maintain the right shape and feel of it, versus some of those other much larger scaled ships. They have limitations on how big they can make them, and the overall proportions. They just don't always necessarily are exact. These can be closer to it, and being a person that builds models a lot and that looks at details such as scale and proportion, that's important. But anyways, so long spiel, and just kind of blabbing on about things that I've gotten recently and what I would like to get. But and I was thinking of getting the new Bad Batch Black Series. It's from, I guess, season 2, where they have the new mercenary outfits. They just got dropped today, but I figure whether they run at least pretty close to 25, almost $30 each. And I think at least they have the 4. I don't think I've seen Crosshair. Crosshair's they already made as in his Imperial outfit, which he was mostly in season 2. So you can still get him, but he's around $30 or so as well. So that times 5, that's about 100. Yeah, it's going to be at least 150 plus tax, maybe some shipping. And again, I'm not sure if I want to. I don't know. I spend that much on that set yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind later. But I did buy the smaller 3.5-inch vintage series. The vintage series, vintage collection. Yeah, the vintage collection. But they look pretty cool. They're in at least they only have one right now, Hunter, and I imagine they gotta have the other 4, right? Tech, Crosshair, Echo, and the big guy. Why am I forgetting his name? Wrecker. Yeah. So I'm sure they have to. They can't just put one of them out and not do the rest. So I did like them actually in the original kind of color scheme in the grays and red colors. The mercenaries were cool too. They have they have like more oranges and a little bit brighter and more colorful. But this was my pick. Okay, long intro just to say this was my pick for Star Wars Day. Just arrived today in time, and we're doing unboxing. And after watching some shows recently, such as The Bad Batch ended first, and then The Mandalorian season 3, and then there's a lot of tie-ins from things from Rebels actually too. It got me wanting to go back and revisit and rewatch Rebels recently, and it's a great animated series. It's hard to say which one I like more, that or Clone Wars. They're both great. I don't think I can really pick one. They're a bit different. Clone Wars has different chronicles of. They're not necessarily all connected, all the different stories. But let's see here. It's been a while since I undid this knife. But the Rebels is more connected, like well, for the most part, it follows from the beginning to the end of the series, but there are some like off stories. But they introduced a lot of characters, a lot of cool things. It was great, and so I actually binge watched that and got through all 4 seasons again within, I don't know, basically 4 days, more or less. And what I always wanted was a good. The ship in the series Rebels, the Ghost, I think it's pretty cool. I've always wanted to get something like this. This is from Star Wars X-Wing, and then there's, I think, Alliance. But these are basically like Star Wars board games. So, you have these cards, and you do with points and dices or something like that, those kind of RPG role-playing games, I guess, but with starfighters and maybe those characters. I don't know. I haven't really played it. But that's a general gist, and I don't play that. But they got what's cool about these is that they make starships for them, miniatures, and they come in different scales, and they're quite detailed actually. And this one always stood out to me. It's like because I like the Ghost, and I couldn't find a good Ghost model. No one really made a model kit of it. Although most recently, since 3D printing is much more available these days. I have found like there is a 3D printed Ghost, but it's like $60 something, and it's unpainted, and it may not even have all the features. And this one I think was under $50 or $40 or something around there, and this is all painted, and I think they're pretty reasonably weathered too, and detailed considering. And this ship actually comes off to the I think this would be considered the Phantom 2, because they used to have a different one. The other Phantom was more angular, and the wings folded out, and it kind of matched the shape of the the ship originally, but that got destroyed at the end of season 2 or at the beginning of season 3, somewhere around there. Then they started to switch over to this, basically, and they commandeered this and repainted it and repurposed it for their little getaway auxiliary craft. And they did used to have a version of this miniature with the Phantom, but it wouldn't. I don't believe it connected. It was just they had a version of this that had a little one built in, and then like a separate one which you could use. But this one actually comes off of here, and you can fly it separately. And so here's just a little bit of box art here, and let's get into it. And I originally wanted that first version because that's the one that I remember the most, is the one with the original Phantom that has the more angular, boxy ship that detaches from the Ghost. I'll just show you what comes with it, but all these like game pieces and stuff that I'm not going to be using, so I'm just going to leave that in there. What else we got in here? Oop. Probably the only thing, some cards for, you know, I guess when you fire and you're just doing your game. And contents. The main thing I'll probably be using are these. These are the stands for them. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not actually going to set it up here. But we're just going to have a look at this. Move this back a little. Make sure everything is good. Okay, taking this out. I don't want to break the little cannon that's on the back here. That looks like it could be fragile. Okay, just carefully. Just there. And we'll take a look at this. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Let me see if I can zoom up a little bit. Yeah, see, it's pretty decent weathering. You gotta admit, not too bad. You could probably go in and do some more, if you want, added some more panel lining and other things to weather it with. And you got the yellow thrusters, but I don't think you really need to go there. And I don't think, well, in the show, these would be the landing pads, struts that would just kind of come straight down. Pretty basic, but it works. And then it would just land like that, and you can just put it down. Though the back is heavier, so it doesn't really sit like it probably should land like this. It would probably put more weights up front, so it sits. Sorry, you can't even see it, huh? Angle this down a little, so you can see this kind of raises. The back is heavier, but that's okay. I'm gonna put it in flight stand anyways. You got a little turret down here for the blaster, and I believe there's guns all over this ship. The front here, and well, I guess not here because these are actually on either side. Like they can dock with other ships this way. And I thought maybe there might have been something on the bottom, but if not that, then at least with the old Phantom, it had guns facing the back. I think you could get into that and actually use it to shoot back as well. But this new ship, they don't. Well, I guess you could. That does have blasters back here, but I don't recall them ever using it in such a fashion. But yeah, I think, I don't know what the size is. Let me see. It's got to be at least 6 inches, right? 5.7. Yeah, well, this is not long enough. But even to here, it's about, not even past the shuttle. Yeah, it's about probably 6, almost 6.5. So I think it's a good scale for my space. I don't have like a lot, but it's just large enough to give some detail. I do have a version of this in both, I believe, Hot Wheels. I think it was their titanium. It's smaller. It's about maybe just this long, and it has okay details, but nothing quite like this. And I'd have to definitely go in and weather it and make it look better. I don't know. I didn't feel like doing that. It didn't have everything that I want on there. And I do have a little small Phantom one, so I at least have a version of that that came with that set. And I believe there's something for maybe micro machines as well. I have an even smaller Ghost that's even less detailed, but those are the only ones I could get a hold of at the time. And I debated getting this one, or at least before they came out with this version. I think the one with, like I said, the Phantom. And but I never did. I just thought, oh, I don't know if I want to spend the money on it. And many years went by, and then I can still find it, but it's a heck of a lot more expensive. It's like $150 or maybe more. I forget, but it's kind of up there. It's definitely more than I wanted to spend. But this at about $40 seems reasonable. So this should. I'll just have a look at this. It's supposed to detach. So oh, I hear it. Just gotta be careful. It might have been. God knows how long this has been attached to here. And does it come straight back, or I don't suppose it has instructions on how to pull this guy off. No, I don't think I saw any inside here, but I know this does come off. I don't think there's any instructions here. Okay, give me a second. Let me have a closer look. Okay, so yeah, here you go. Comes off like this, and you could remove it, but this should go right into the onto like the end of this. There's like a peg here. I think, yeah, right here. That little small part goes right in here, and you hold it up, and it'll be by itself. So, you know, sometimes you see on the show that they fly without this guy, and it looks just like this. And it's actually kind of cool. You see, there's actually a hatch, like a door to get to the ship from the back here. That's pretty cool. And I'm not sure. No, these probably don't help to hold it in, but yeah. I think what you can do is, I don't know, I just had to wiggle it out a little bit. Just kind of like rock it and wiggle it out. Just gonna be careful, I don't want to break it. So I don't know, I could display it separately. We'll see. I'm kind of waiting for, excitedly waiting for the Ahsoka show, live action show to begin. I think that might be later this year, in fact. So, and I'm sure I saw this in there, and you got Hera Syndulla, who's the captain of the ship, and so I'm almost certain you're going to see this in there. And it's cool that this ship actually survived. You see this in a quick shot in Rogue One in the Battle above Scarif. So it was in there, and you actually, I believe, you hear it inside the when they're on Yavin base too. Hera's name being called, and you see Chopper in the background, the droid from part of the ship in the show. And I believe it even survived all the way to, well, supposedly this participate in the Battle of Endor, though I don't think they've ever redid that. Battle of Endor seemed to add this in even for a brief moment. You know, they do a lot of special editions, but I don't think they ever did that. But supposedly they were in the Battle of Endor as well. It would be kind of cool if I wouldn't mind if they added that back in somehow, just to show that it was in there. And definitely it was in the battle of, at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, when they brought all those ships in to fight the Emperor's super Star Destroyer fleet that he had hidden away at the end, and it was revealed. And that's, I believe, is inside that shot. So this thing survived a lot of battles, and it's a cool ship. And you see in the show, it's pretty tough and versatile and all that. So that's about it. Oh, I was thinking if maybe this might have lightened the back up, but I think there's enough mass in the back here and the length of it. It's going to tip back a little bit, but that's okay. This is just going to be plopped onto the stand right here and put on display in flight mode anyways. And that'll be that. So, yeah, this is my little May the 4th, Star Wars Day kind of present for myself and way to celebrate it. Having just rewatched Rebels, and I just always thought this was a really cool ship to have, and it's pretty well detailed. There could be some extra work done, but I'm not mad at what I see, and I could live with this. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.